This video is all about handstand push-ups, which I'm just going to say I don't really recommend most people do, and I don't recommend you do. So if you choose to do any handstand push-ups because of this video, you are totally taking it upon yourself, and it's at your own risk. This video is specifically made for one person. However, if you're not that one person, you're welcome to join in, again, at your own risk. So I've seen a lot of headstand and handstand push-ups in my lifetime, being in a former life gymnastics coach at a very competitive level. And I've seen them in CrossFit gyms, and I've seen them in regular gyms, just people throwing their bodies around. And there's a lot of potential to ruin your shoulders and your back and your neck if you can't recover from going too low or having a poor position and other things. So I'm not going to get too much into that, but I'm going to give you some ideas. I think it's pretty obvious that you got to be able to do a regular push-up before you even try to elevate your center of gravity. Center of gravity. So if on the knees is a struggle for you, also in a handstand push-up, you want to access more of your chest. So when you want to access more of your chest, you generally turn the hands in and the elbows go out just a little bit, more like at a 45. Whereas if you're doing like a chaturanga, they tell you to put your elbows straight back, but I'm all for like a little, as long as you're pretty integrated and you're not like all over the place. So of course there's this push-up, and then there's this push-up, right? And then there's this push-up, right? And the more you have supported leg-wise, the easier it's going to be. So if you rub your ankles, it would be harder. And if you brought the apparatus higher up on the legs, it would be easier, right? Because you don't have your center of gravity floating out in space as much. Now you can make this a lot higher too. Walk the hands in, and then start to get your hips over your head. Maybe not immediately over your head, maybe more like a down dog, right? And then start to walk your feet closer, right? A little bend, and then down. And then there's the, I want to do this, but I'm afraid I'm going to fall on my head. So you take blocks, and this is one of my favorite ways to start people on arm balances, is to take a little canopy. Now you may want a different canopy. You may want a bigger, thicker canopy, like a bolster or a blanket that's not as fluffy and squishy. But from here, if I want to, let's say I'm just going to do a little higher center of gravity here. I can come down. If I start to feel weak, I have something supporting me, and I don't have to worry about collapsing and killing myself, right? So also taking the hands a little wider can help integrate more muscles as well. Okay, and then what's the next step? Well, it's not all about doing push-ups. Sometimes doing pull-ups, because it's like an upside down handstand push-up. So you're working similar muscles, just in different ways. The ones that are eccentrically contracting here are concentrically contracting on the push-up. So you could have different grips, and you can switch your grips, right? You can have like this grip, the over grip, which actually really hurts my shoulder, so I can't do. And then, what if your handstand isn't all that great? Should you even be in a handstand doing push-ups? Probably not. What does an okay handstand look like? We'll get into that. Now, if you're an arm balancer, and chances are you're capable of crow pose, chances are, if you're doing handstand push-ups, like even practice, you're probably capable of a crow pose. So here's a nice thing to work. I can feel a little fancy. My belly's pretty lifted here. I'm not letting my back sag. Then I take a breath, and I can exhale, pull the belly back in, push up, take a breath, and rinse and repeat. There's also another thing you can do here. which could prepare you to do a better handstand, drawing the low belly in, pressing the inner legs together, feeling the ribs connect, theoretically. And that's figuratively, I mean. You can come down, work on collecting towards your midline, come up, blah, blah. Okay, so on the handstand position, let's make a switcheroo. A switcheroo. Are you ready for the switcheroo? Oh, there you are. Okay, so there's a lot of things to consider here. If you go up a wall and you're comfortable with this and you're content with leaning your belly into the wall, you're probably not ready for handstands. So the rule of thumb is you press into your inner hands, draw your low belly off the wall, so like the tip of the pubic bone would go towards the wall and then up, and just the tops of your toenails touch if possible. If that is not within your realm, then you need to work some other exercises, like getting on the flow, taking your hands into the wall. This helps if you're a little elevated. This is not my ideal way. I would have a bolster under me, but not everybody has bolsters or blocks. So this goes under thoracic, this goes under sacrum, and you press into your wall, and then you're trying to get the lumbar curve to not pop out, but just lengthen. So if you use that mula bandha, low belly, front low spine, in and up, your legs will lift. I don't know if you can see that. Drawing in, your legs will lift. Press your hands into the wall like you mean it. And you could do this with bent legs too. It's easier to jump your feet up though, like you don't want to use your feet. It's all belly and with one leg straight. So there's a couple techniques for you. Not for you unless you're that one person. Of course, I have a zillion more, so maybe you'll get to see more of those later. Anyways, thanks for watching. Give it a try. I'm sweating balls I don't have off of me, and I didn't even do a proper workout, in my opinion. So, have fun, stay tuned, subscribe, see you later.